Hello, my dears, and welcome to my channel. As always, I am very happy and grateful that you've chose to spend your time with me, and supporting my channel is really easy. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the notification bell of when you'd like to be notified of when I drop another video. And I hope that you're all doing well, but if not, I do hope things will get better for you soon. But if you want to forget about things for just a little while, join me in meeting the Star Trek The Next Generation tarot deck. And the original first episode was aired today in 1987, and the show ended May 23rd, 1994, and it had 7 seasons and 178 episodes. And this deck was created by Tori Schafer and illustrated by Nicky, Barkla, and it was published by Inside Editions and released August 9th of 2022, and at that time it retailed for $27.99. The box is 5 3/4 height. Across is 4 3/4 inches. The width is 2 inches, and it does have thumb indents on the side. And it only has the title on the sides and not on the top. Got Picard on the top with his legendary "Make It So." And on the back, we have some teaser cards. And it says, "Seek out new destinies and new points of view with this official tarot deck inspired by the hit TV show Star Trek The Next Generation, featuring original art of Captain Picard, Data, Worf, Counselor Troy, Commander Riker, and many more." Okay. And just open it up. Just a regular box. It does have the ribbon to pull out the guidebook, which we will explore after the cards, and you can pull out the deck. The insert, it's got the starship, the insert does, and you can remove the insert if you would like. There's nothing on the box or anything like that, but you do have the option, if something happens to this, that you can remove it. So the cards are regular size tarot cards, as you can see, same size. And reversals won't be revealed. Okay, so with each of my tarot videos, I do a side-by-side comparison with a Rider-Waite or Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And the one I will be doing comparison with is the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot, and it's published by US Game Systems, and you can get it there, I think. And I do believe Amazon is the other place that you can get it. Last time I checked, you could get it there. Okay, so we're going to go through the major arcana, and I'll just name off the characters in the show. So we have Data, Geordi LaForge, Deanna Troy. And let me know in the comments below if you agree with the choices that they made. We have Beverly Crusher, William Riker, and I like the illustrations because they're really good to where they're crystal clear. You know who that person is if you've seen the show and you're familiar with it. And then we have Alana. I cannot pronounce her last name. I think she's an admiral. We have Miles and Kiko. the Enterprise. Oh, I forgot to re-switch these around. Okay, so we have Worf. And we have Noonan Song. I think that's how you say his name. I think he's the one that created Data, if I'm not mistaken. And we have Guinan. Jean-Luc Picard. Reginald Barclay. Natasha Yar. Spock. We have Lore. Hugh of Borg. I liked his character. I really did. We have Wesley Crusher. Lawaxana Troy. I think that's how you say her name. It's been a long time since I watched the show, so. And, oh no, that was Ro Lauren. Okay. And Laxana Troy. That's Deanna's mom. Okay. And then we have Q. And to finish it out, we have the Galaxy. All right. That's all the majors. Okay. The minors, not happy about the minors. This is a pip deck. And that's one of the things that I'm disappointed about. And as we go through the deck, you might understand why I'm disappointed in this deck when it comes to the minors. Pip decks, I'm not a fan of, but I will still buy a deck, even if it is a pip deck. But pip decks to me are lost opportunities. They had so much material to work with this series that there was no reason that they made the minors like they did. And as we go on, you'll understand. Okay, so for the first suit, they did cloaks. The Romulan ships that cloak, or I think it was, yeah, Romulan. The Romulan ships that cloak. And I disagree with the color, first off, because wands are fiery, passionate. They are red. I do believe that they should be the color red because of the element fire is associated with wands. But we'll go through the deck and you can see what I'm talking about, because mainly all they did was do cloaking ships. That's it. And they change, you can't even, unless you know the suit, you wouldn't know that this is wands at all. Yeah. So that is my criticism of the deck. This would be, in my opinion, a collectible deck to where you're nostalgic for Star Trek and you want to add it to your collection. Okay, so the court cards are Romulans, and if I pronounce these wrong, please, I'm really, really sorry. Okay, so we have Selak, Knight is Toreth, Queen is Sela, and King. Oh, geez, I'm missing my Queen. Oh, well, you get the idea. I'm gonna have to find my Queen. There she is. Sorry about that. Okay. And here's the Queen card. Okay. And then we have Tomlock as the King. Okay. Okay, next we have Latinum for Pentacles. And of course, Latinum is money, the equivalent of money, material, possession, but the color, I would not have chosen yellow for the Pentacles because Pentacle is an earth suit, and green that was in the cloaks should have been Pentacles, but it is what it is. So we're just going to go through the deck, and basically it's just bars of Latinum. Okay, then we get to the court cards. And we have Dr. Rega, Goss, Vash, and Bach. Okay. And next, we have what should have been the wand's color is representative of the swords, and the bathlets. Bathlets? And what they chose for the suits as well is they chose the Klingons for the swords and the Romulans for wands. And I don't agree with that choice myself, because Klingons are very passionate. They're not logical. Well, they can be, but the Romulans are more rational than the Klingons, at least in my mind. That's my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about the choice for the suit, but I'm disappointed in this deck, if you haven't noticed by now. Yeah, I was really excited because I am a Star Trek fan. I'm not a Trekkie per se. I'm not really deep into Star Trek, but I really like Star Trek. But when I got into the deck and started looking at it and everything, I was like, yeah. All right, so we have Alexander. And I apologize if I'm going to butcher these names. Kaylee? And we have Kurak. And Goran. I mean, I honestly, I would have picked Vulcans for the swords. You know, they're intellectual, they temper their emotions. I mean, not to say that they don't have them, but okay. And lastly, we have the cups, which are represented by starships. Okay. And blue. I mean, they did get the color right, in my opinion. And it's just starships. The number of starships in the card. Okay, and the court cards is Lal. Not sure how you say that name. And Nella Darren. Alyssa Ogawana. I think that's how you say her last name. Sorry. And then we have Sarek. All right, and that is the deck. And the cards are on the thin side. They are flexi bendy. They're like a matte kind of thing. And yeah, you probably get fingerprints on them, which is always a bummer. But a lot with matte cards, they do collect fingerprints. All right, let's go on to the guidebook, and you get your content page and an introduction. Just kind of introducing you to the deck and what it's about. And understanding your tarot deck just breaks the deck down and tells you, I think this is more beginner section. And then we go on to the different suits. So they chose the cloaks because it represents adventure, ingenuity, and revelations. The members of its court, represented by Romulans, are fearless and vehement. And they chose the suit of Latinum because it represents finance, fortune, and laborious pursuits. And then the Batlets represents conflict, power, and judgment. So they chose Klingons. And the starships represent emotions, relationships, and imagination. And they chose the Federation. Yeah. Okay, so basically in the guidebook you get the title and the character and the message of the Fool, and then you get an upright and a reversal. And that's the same through the major. And then the minors, they start off with the court cards first, and you just get the title, the character, and an upright and reversal. And their color, they match their suit color on the cards. And then you got your other one, and then the last one. Although this looks purple and not blue, but it is what it is. Okay, and then we get some readings, some spreads. Well, we get tarot readings, and then we get caring for your decks. These are just suggestions. You can read it and, follow it if you want. Preparing to read tarot. You can read this and do it if you want. Totally up to you. And we have the spreads, calculating the odds, red alert, prime directive, and the author and the illustrator. A little bit of blurb on that. And you get the group on the back. Alright, so shuffling should be really easy because these are so thin and flexible. Should be fine. But if you do have physical limitations, shuffle how you feel best. There's no right or wrong way to shuffle. You can do overhand. You can cut. Pick them up like that. Or you can do a fan on the table, spread them out, or you can just, put them all on the table. Totally up to you. Okay, let's see what message this deck has for somebody or everybody. Okay. We have, I do believe that is an ace of platinum. Yeah, ace. It's 1. Okay, so now is the time to kick off a business venture. look for new opportunities within your career or investments. This good fortune should be met with an entrepreneurial spirit. Remember rule acquisition number 9, opportunity plus instinct equals profit. If it was reversed, a new business venture has failed. You may have lost wealth or suffered a major setback. Remember rule of acquisition number 88. It ain't over till it's over. Your next business opportunity may be just round the corner, waiting to be seized. All right, so that is basically everything I have for this deck. And I forgot to mention that Tori has some other decks. She has come out with Fallout Tarot. And I will be doing the Fallout Tarot next month because that's when the game came out and when the bombs dropped in that month of October. So I will, if you want to see that deck, watch for my notifications because I will be doing that deck next month. And she also has done the Elder Scrolls and the Hocus Pocus decks, and I do have those in, I think it's the Inside Edition playlist. I have videos on both of those, so if you want to check them out, feel free to peruse that playlist. But if anybody has this deck, you know, kind of like let us know how it's working out for you, or if you were disappointed like I was, you can go ahead and vent. This is a very safe space for something like that. I feel your pain if you are disappointed in this deck. But anyway, enough of my little rant. Once again, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I hope that you will join me with another video. But until next time, take care and goodbye, my dears.